In this video, I'm going to be playing the game Tiny Thor, and I already played it before, but this is a different recording. This is a different saved game rather. So I just wanted to record my playthrough this time. So the story starts with young Thor leaving his kingdom or wherever he stays, and he's riding down this rainbow going down to, I guess it's going down to Earth. So as he's riding down the rainbow, there's this strange purple rock comet thing about to hit the village, and he sees it and it's heading straight for the village. So he trips on a rock on the rainbow, which I don't get, like how is there a rock on the rainbow? But anyway, he trips on the rock and he's falling down to the village, and he's falling down and he's falling to the forest. And this is where the game begins. The game begins with Thor traveling from the rainbow road to the forest. So in the first stage, Birthday Boy, we see that young Thor has fallen down to the forest and he's greeted by these two ravens. So those two ravens will be accompanying you during the journey and will be assisting you with anything, and they'll also be helpful throughout the whole entire journey. So yeah, the game starts pretty easy and pretty basic. Basically here I am running towards where my dad is. Is that Odin? I don't really know mythology like that, but yeah. So I've been gifted with the magical hammer Mjolnir. I don't know what mythology this is. I'm not really someone who follows mythology, but yeah, I've been granted the magical hammer, and here you can kind of see me throwing it and all the things the hammer can do. So yeah, you can also aim the hammer in different directions. So now I find out that this boy is trapped and is about to be attacked by the snakes, so I have to defeat the snakes in order to rescue the boy. But this is the beginning of the story, but I don't really know who that strange boy is. But basically that strange boy said that there is a monster that is going to attack the village. The monster is the Bee Queen, which you get to see later on. So yeah, the game starts off pretty easily, just attacking basic enemies, nothing too hard here, nothing complicated, just vibes. So yeah, the first levels are pretty easy and easy to get through, no challenges here or there. If you've ever played a platformer, this is pretty basic, just running and jumping. Oh, and those blue coins that I'm collecting will be helpful later on in order to get upgrades and stuff. So that's why I'm collecting them, and that's why I'm putting in like effort trying to collect most of them. And yeah, pretty much that's the game for now, and just pretty much maneuvering around the forest. And here I end up meeting one of the first early bosses of the game. Don't really know its name, but it's kind of looks like a monkey, I guess, a monkey monster. It has a name in the description when you defeat it, like in the game's descriptions, but I've forgotten the name. But yeah, pretty much here the game is also teaching you how to use the hammer effectively by making sure that it just bounces back and forth and hits the boss and hits the objects as well. So pretty much I liked this boss battle because it was teaching me how best to use the hammer and how the hammer can be used in different ways. Yeah, I think the boss is called the Stone Crusher because here he was about to crush me with this giant stone platform thing, but I saved it right in time. So yeah, pretty much the game starts off easily just like that, nothing too complicated, nothing too difficult. And this is where I defeated like the final boss, this first boss, but yeah, nothing too hard. So after defeating the boss and after collecting these coins, these blue coins or gemstones, they should be gems, you collect that thing. So after each and every boss stage there is an upgrade that you get. So here is where I got my first upgrade of the game, and it's a double jump, which is kind of cool that we got a double jump pretty early, because I feel like in other games it takes a while to get the double jump. Like it feels like something that you have to really work for and you really have to strive for. You don't just get it that early. But yeah, so now with the double jump it will be easier for me to reach higher platforms and to reach up above than before. So yeah, so it was a really very much needed feature in the very early beginnings of the game, because as you can see here, I'm swinging from tree to tree and I'm climbing up above. So now we're headed for that bee queen that I was talking about, that strange boy had said. So we are in the forest, but we're traveling from the forest to the hive where the bee queen is, the queen's quarters. So here we're still maneuvering our way through the undergrowth, through the bottom part of the forest, as we're headed for the bee queen's lair, I should say. So pretty much here we're just solving a bit of some basic puzzles and learning the use of the aim mechanic and learning how to aim better, and just something that will be useful later on in the game, because there will be a lot of that moving forward. So yeah, I was stuck here for such a long time. I felt so dumb, like this shouldn't even be that hard, but anyway, I made it through eventually after trial and error, and now just bouncing, going up and away. We found upgrade during the level, and you'll be able to purchase those upgrades later on at the store. So here is where we found the store, and at the store you can buy several different upgrades with those blue gems that we've been collecting. Moving on, now we're just traveling our way through the forest towards the bee queen's lairs, and there's so many bees and so many different types of bees, which I never really noticed at first. I never really paid attention to, but I think it's pretty cool that they added different types of bees at the bee queen's lair. They're not just one type of bee, even though they have the same like color scheme and stuff, but they don't attack in the same way. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, now we're just bouncing up, going up, and avoiding being attacked by those bees and those other bees. But yeah, the double jump is being very useful, because now we're just going up and we just have to finish the level by simply going up and maneuvering our way upwards. And that's what I'm doing here, and just avoiding those enemies. One thing about this game that I like is that you can just avoid enemies. They don't really follow you that much compared to other games, because it's really annoying when like enemies keep on following you throughout the stage. So here there's some piranha fish that I just avoid in order to make my way across, and they cannot be destroyed with the hammer, which really sucks, because the only way is just to avoid them pretty much. And yeah, we're still making our way to the bee queen lair, and here you can kind of see how the aim mechanic is useful for not only destroying enemies but collecting blue coins efficiently and effectively and just really quickly. So yeah, here I'm just maneuvering and jumping on these moving platforms and stuff, still making my way to the bee queen and just avoiding thorns and enemies. But yeah, so here pretty much you can see me use the aim mechanic, although I think you can still make that without the aim if you just throw the hammer directly up, but I don't know, I didn't really try it. But yeah, pretty much this stage was just jumping on those brown wooden platforms from side to side. And then there are those weird enemies that can't be attacked directly because they have a shield. You can only attack them from above or from below, I think. But yeah, those are like really weird enemies and really difficult to deal with, honestly, because they can't be attacked head on. But yeah, pretty much now we're just traveling and riding this thing towards where we're headed to. And here are some more piranha fish and stuff. Oh, that's one of the most annoying mechanics in this game. When you get hit, your heart starts bouncing around. So most of the times you find yourself running for your life, literally, which is annoying, because if you lose that life, you have to collect more, or you have to collect it again and start all over again, compared to a typical video game where you just have hearts for lives and they're like above the screen and stuff. So here you can kind of see me learning new tactics of moving around and getting around, still using that aiming function to hit the crate that I'm standing on, and for the hammer to bounce off walls and push me forward. And here you can see me kind of do it better as I kind of learned how to use it more effectively, I guess. But yeah, a very fast way of maneuvering and getting through stages. And here you can kind of see me avoiding these things, and we're still heading up. Very much double jump. We're still heading up towards the bee queen's lair. Those are the other types of bees that I was talking about. Those ones are really easy because you can just step on them and you can just also attack them with the hammer. Whilst the other ones you can't step on them, the ones with the thorns that you see later on as I progress through the stage. But yeah, these were surrounded by a huge swarm of bees, and we just have to make our way to the top by just jumping up and down and just maneuvering our way through this mess, through this almost pseudo hive, because it's not a hive as such, but we're heading for the hive. So yeah, now we're just bouncing around, and those ones cannot be stepped on. Those ones you just gotta attack them with the hammer. Those yellow ones with the stingers that throw stingers at you, you can step on. So yeah, now we're just maneuvering our way through the game and just traveling like that. So pretty easy, pretty basic, nothing complicated. So here you just have to be careful and avoid those ones with the spikes because you can't step on those. So yeah, we're making our way towards the hive here. That's why there's a huge swarm of bees, and there are more bees here than before. So now we're heading for the hive and we're going towards the queen's quarters. And now we're in the queen's quarters, and this is where all the bees are coming from, and this is where all the bees are. So yeah, there's a huge swarm of bees following behind us from the left, and we just have to keep on moving forward whilst avoiding the other bees that are also coming from each and every angle. So pretty much here it's just avoiding getting hit by the bees and just making the most of how you throw the hammer. And the good thing is that the bees coming from the left are moving really slow, so it's not like they're going to catch up that easily. So yeah, pretty much as you can see here, I'm just letting the hammer do all the work instead of constantly throwing it back and forth. Just let it bounce from wall to wall. So yeah, and just avoiding getting hit pretty much. So the more we're going forward, the more we're moving forward, we're headed for the queen bee herself. But first we have to make it through this hive, and we can also see those stinger bees that throw their stingers here. So all types of bees are in the hive, as you'd expect from the hive. So we are jumping around, moving forward and avoiding getting hit, and making the most of hammer wall bounce. So here I like this little section that is not yellow, that is kind of like the very early stages, the underground, before we head back to the yellow honey coated environment again, this part. So as you can see down below, there's like a pool of honey. If you fall in there, it's game over. So you have to avoid falling, and you also have to avoid getting hit and losing your lives and falling into the pool. So pretty much this was not that hard, but yeah, it was just kind of annoying, kind of like this section where you have to keep on looking everywhere, the bees everywhere. But I like these sections where where it doesn't look like the hive, where it feels like back to normal gaming. But these sections are very small because anyway, these are the queen's quarters. As you can see here, by using the hammer toss, we just jump all the way up and let the hammer do all the work. So we're getting closer to the queens. We're getting closer to the bee queen, and we're jumping on these bees across from left to right, and we are drawing closer to the queen bee. And here we are, and there is a portrait of the queen bee in all her majesty. So it's time for us to battle the queen, and we're headed for her. Maybe not so majestic with that picture, but here we are. We've met the queen bee, and as you'd expect from the queen bee, she is surrounded by other bees, and her stinger can shoot many projectiles in many different directions. But as you can see here, just like the earlier boss, just utilize the hammer bouncing back and forth. And she also tries to stick you in honey so that you can be immobilized and get attacked by those stinger bees. But yeah, we're avoiding all that. I like that crossbow bow and arrow thing. That was kind of cool. But yeah, the queen bee wasn't too difficult, as you can see. Nothing really that challenging, just pretty much avoiding getting trapped by honey and getting attacked by those other bees whilst I'm trapped. But nothing too complicated, just pretty much using the hammer effectively. And the queen bee wasn't that strong, to be honest, because I thought that should be really strong because she's the second boss. But anyway, we've defeated the queen bee, and I think it's time for us to go back to our birthday, as it is my birthday after all. So we're headed towards the outside of this hive thing, but we messed up. So you see those things are kind of holding that rainbow into place, the rainbow that we rode that brought us here, and we've just kind of pushed them away and we've hit them off their sockets. So we realized that we've been tricked by Loki. Now we're sad and we're crying. I'm crying because I've been tricked. But then I'm like, nah, this isn't the time to cry. This is the time for me to be brave and be forward. So yeah, because I destroyed the rainbow bridge, those gods that you saw at the beginning cannot come to help me. Only I can go and collect those things that I've hit from their sockets. They're called Singersteins, but I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. Like I said, I don't really know lore or mythology like that, the mythology surrounding Thor, but yeah, probably those things are in the mythology. So after finishing the stage, as you can see, it's time for another upgrade, and now we have a new upgrade, and it's the wall jump. So now we can jump from wall to wall like this, which will be very much useful where we're going. So those ravens told me that to find the first Singerstein, we have to go underground in the caves. So leaving the hive, it's time for me to go underground and to search for the first Singerstein, and there are monsters that will be holding those things that they were holding the rainbow bridge. So now, as you can see, we're going underground, and I really like this underground section. It's beautiful in a way, of course kind of creepy, but kind of beautiful. Those monsters you can see there cannot be attacked with the hammer, so they're so pesky and so annoying because you can't get rid of them easily. So pretty much you just have to avoid them because there's no attack that can get rid of them, even with upgrades. So just pretty much avoid them. Good thing they move slow and they don't really maneuver much around the area surrounding the stage. We can see some of the old enemies being found here as well, which was interesting. It's like, what are these things even doing underground? So pretty much we're going deeper underground in search for those Singersteins, the first Singerstein. So we're going deep underground, and there's also water in the underground, which I thought was a cool addition. Like, I don't really know how water made it underground. Actually, it makes sense. I mean, water goes underground after it rains. That was so dumb. But anyway, yeah, we finished that stage, but you can see pools of water here, and we're just avoiding the water, just like we're avoiding those pools of honey. So pretty much just avoid drowning. Yeah, so we are traveling and maneuvering our way through the underground, and we can also see some of the things from the earlier stages, like those bridges that fall apart when you step on them, and those swinging things, except this time they have rocks instead of spikes like the earlier stages. Also, there are new enemies like the frogs. There were no frogs in the earlier stages. So as you can see, as we're progressing in the game, we're meeting new enemies, and it's going to get a lot harder to move around. That's why the upgrades are very much needed. So yeah, now here we're just making our way up and avoiding the rising water, the rising tides, and pretty much that's most of this level, the water rising back and forth, up and down, and just avoiding the water. Here we get to use a flotation device, this box thing. So we kind of get to use the box to travel and maneuver around the stage. Without this box, you can't make it to the other side. So I thought that was interesting, as opposed to just running and avoiding the water itself. So yeah, so after that we're still going up, and we finished that stage. And now I like this stage that's leading to the third boss, a giant worm, because the water is constantly rising and we're constantly avoiding it. So we're pretty much actively avoiding the water. So we're going up and away, and you can kind of see the importance of the double jump and the wall climb itself, because without the wall climb it would be really hard to move faster. Maybe still possible to make it with just the double jump, but the wall climb is very much needed and very much useful in this situation, in this scenario. So yeah, pretty much this is a make it to the top before the water reaches you. And here we're just using those stone pillars as walls to climb up. So we're making our way up by even using the enemies themselves. As you can see here, rising stone pillars, and yeah, we're making our way up, just climbing up the stone pillar things. But yeah, very much a lot of pressure here, because if you're too slow you're going to get hit and then you have to start all over. And here we're just pretty much using the aim mechanic to activate the switches or the levers and to make our way up. Also, we have a lot of time to aim because the water is rising slower here, giving the player a chance to actually think through what they're doing. So yeah, now we're still heading on our way up because we're heading towards the third boss, and where we'll get our first Singerstein, those things that destroyed the Rainbow Bridge. Let's just call them relics because I don't like the word Singerstein that much, but yeah. So we're heading on our way up, and those bats were so annoying, but the good thing is that you can step on them and you can attack them with the hammer, so they're kind of weak. So yeah, we've made our way up and we've avoided the water, and it's time for us to go and battle the third boss of the game, this giant worm, that thing, creepy. So we keep on heading up, and now it's time for us to fight this boss thing. So pretty much the only way to damage it is to hit its eye, and as you can see here, even when you hit its eye it splits into tinier eyes and it keeps on shooting other eyes, which is really weird. I don't know if that's lore accurate. Maybe I have to read the lore on Thor if he battled the giant worm thing. But yeah, once again we're using this mechanic of the hammer bouncing back and forth between the boss and the environment, just like we've been doing with all the other bosses. And this mechanic is really helpful in these earlier parts of the game. In the later parts of the game not so much, but yeah. So here we're still attacking its eyeballs and avoiding getting hit, and here it's closing in on us, but we can still hit it if we just time our throws properly and stuff. So pretty much here the worm, isn't it weird how the worm is longer here than before? But anyway, I'm just realizing, like, if the worm is so long, why doesn't it just fill up the whole entire screen? Anyway, video game logic. So here we can use the wall climb to avoid getting hit by that giant worm by simply doing that. So now the worm is doing what I just literally said, like trapping us sort of, but not a very efficient trap, as you can see, because I still have so much time to defeat it. So yeah, this was the third boss, nothing too complicated, and we collect our first relic. Also, we get a flashback from our dad, so the more relics we collect, the more he's able to talk to us through these glimpses or through these flashes, but they're only for a brief moment because I don't have as much relics. The more relics I get, the more he'll be able to talk to me more. So yeah, we just got a new upgrade, and it's our slam, which is a downward attack that can smash blocks and also enemies, which will also be needed to make our way through different parts of the game. Starting here, no way to make it through that other than using the slam. So yeah, I didn't really like the slam, to be honest. It has a lot of lag and I don't like that. It's slow, but it's effective. It gets the job done. Plus, you don't really have to use it that much against enemies. Mostly you just use it as a way to get through the stages, so I think it's fine. Like this, as a way to make it through the stage, to maneuver through things. But those enemies that are rolling can be attacked with the slam, but I really hated that because the slam is so slow. So most of the times I was just avoiding enemies if I got the chance. I wasn't really attacking them with the slam, or I'll just attack them with the regular hammer toss. Like, why bother with the slam? So yeah, we're still making our way through this cavern thing. So as you can see, those wooden platforms from before are still here, which was a nice touch. A lot of things from the other stages are still here, but also adding new elements like these bouncing mushrooms. Actually, in the earlier stages there were bouncing mushrooms, the red ones, but they didn't have spikes, so you could just step on them easily. Here we are. I like this puzzle mechanic and the puzzle mechanics the game offered. Honestly, very creative. You have to be very clever, and you have to, this game is all about precision and timing. If you don't time your stuff well, you're gonna end up messing up a lot. So we have access to another shop here, and as you can see, we have a lot of coins, so we can get some upgrades. So we shop a little and get some upgrades, and the journey continues. So here we're also introduced to new, what are those things called, new enemies, spiders. Although, is it me, they kind of look like crabs. I don't know why they were drawn that way. I thought they were like crab spiders, if that's even a thing. Here, as you can see, we bounce along and maneuver through the stage. Another brief puzzle moment, but the good thing is we have a double jump, so we're not really afraid of falling in the water. It also sucks that the kid can't swim, like, aren't you a god or something? But anyway, he's just a kid, and he's not really yet a god. I think there's like a certain age he has to be for him to be a god. I don't know, probably. So yeah, we're avoiding the crab spider thingies, and we're making our way through the game. Those crab spider thingies, very easy enemy, don't even do much, very avoidable. They're kind of slow, as you can see, because they have to swing their web from side to side. But yeah, pretty much not so bad. The enemies of this caves are not even that bad. Even the bats themselves, very avoidable. You can easily run away from them and stuff. So yeah, here we're just avoiding getting hit by spikes and just clinging to the walls as tight as we can, using the slam to go down and finish the level. So yeah, I like that you can also cancel the slam into a jump or into other buttons and other controls. I thought that was cool because, like I said, it's really laggy, so the fact that you can cancel it is great, because sometimes you do it too early and stuff. So yeah, anything that can be cancelled is great, especially if it's slow. So yeah, pretty much here we're just using the wall climb feature to bounce up and around the stage, and we're using all our abilities here: the wall bounce, the double jump, the slam, and everything to make our way through. This stage was really long because pretty much you're just bouncing across from one side to another, so it was really long and very exhausting, but still fun, I would say, but just really long, like really long. I got really tired of this stage, but very creative still. So yeah, we're just sliding around and moving around and maneuvering the stage, and we're just bouncing on those mushrooms from side to side to make our way to the ending. So as you can see, the mushrooms are the mode of travel from side to side in this stage. So yeah, pretty much just utilizing the power of mushrooms to bounce. Are mushrooms even bouncy in real life? I don't know. But anyway, here it's pretty much a don't get hit challenge, because like I said, those things are indestructible, though they don't look that way. Just avoid them at all costs. Don't, yeah, avoid as much as you can. So yeah, this was a really long stage. Here we're still bouncing across from side to side, and we're making it to the final part pretty much, and we're making our way on to the end of the stage. Here I'm trying my best to collect as much blue coins as possible, because I really need those upgrades. Also because this kid is pretty weak, because like I said, it's just a kid. But anyway, that's why I was like trying so hard to collect some of these blue coins, blue gems. Other times I just gave up and quit. I was like, I'm not even doing that, screw it. So yeah, pretty much here we're just bouncing around, and we're bouncing all the way to the end. And I thought this was really cool, like this bounce from side to side, up and down, diagonal, all the way to the ending. That was pretty clever. So here we see other obstacles, those thorns that rise when you step on the platform or when you step on the pathway. And here we see that box mechanic coming back again, where we pretty much use the box to maneuver around the stage because we cannot make it through without it, which I thought was really creative, and just teaching you how to throw the hammer at interesting angles, which is something that will be very much needed a lot in this game. So just pretty much platforming. Yeah, this part was so hard at first. I don't know how I did it, because I did it so many times it became so easy, but the first time it was so challenging, like what the f. So here we're just avoiding getting hit pretty much, and just timing our jumps efficiently, and just making our way across, avoiding those thorns and enemies. But nothing too complicated, nothing too hard, pretty doable, right? I mean, we have a double jump, we have a wall jump, so it's doable, it's manageable. Also, this game doesn't have like a hard mode, so it's understandable why some of the mechanics were left this way, to make the game a bit challenging. Otherwise the game would be a bit too easy. But yeah, like the life thing, where I said the life just bounces around and stuff, and things like this that require precision, just to make the game a little bit hard. Otherwise it would just be too easy and you just end up finishing a game in a short period of time, which is no fun. You have to struggle a bit with these games. That's what makes it fun, when you make your way through it instead of just like speed running and just finishing a game like in 10 minutes. It's more fun this way, when you have to think through and when you have to struggle a bit to make it to the end of a level and stuff. So yeah, here we're using the aim mechanic to just aim the hammer to the switches to make our way across, and we're going to get the second box that's going to activate the bottom part of the stage for us to make our way through to the end. So I thought this section was kind of cool, the falling platforms and the falling boxes, and kind of highlighting how like you need to use other objects to clear other objects in order to make it through the stage. I thought this was cool. This was pretty creative, although the boxes were falling pretty slowly, but yeah, still a pretty cool mechanic. So here we're making our way down. We're starting from above, going down. Even though we're already underground, we're going deeper underground, and we're just avoiding getting hit by those swinging things, and also avoiding different sorts of enemies as we're heading for the fourth boss of the game. So pretty much good timing and precision is needed, like I said, but this was a pretty tough stage, not gonna lie. This was a really hard one. Like, this needed a lot of patience, because there are going to be a lot of moments where you mess up, but you're gonna make it through anyway. So like here, really good timing, just seeing what time those things are going to come out and stuff. But yeah, still doable. But that was really hard the first time, that walking thing, because it's really hard to time and avoid the walking and like the obstacles and stuff. But yeah, pretty much here we go. We're going deep underground, and we're still using the boxes to clear the path through, and using the aim tool to activate switches and levers and stuff to go even further underground. So we're going down to the deepest part of the game. And now we've made it to the boss, which is this giant clockwork thing. I didn't really understand this, because I thought that like this is based on mythology and stuff, Thor's mythology. So I was like, why is there a robotic thing? I thought in those times there was no technology and stuff. But anyway, gaming wise, I thought this was a pretty interesting boss, because it was pretty hard, I can say, because I didn't really know how you were supposed to attack it at first, but especially because that slam thing is so slow. So many times I was missing the arms and was failing to like hit its arms and stuff, because the slam is just way too slow, not gonna lie. So yeah, here I was just avoiding getting hit by two things, the lasers and the giant mechanical hands themselves. And pretty much by using the slam and slamming its arms into its eyes, we defeat the boss, and we've made it through. So far so good, and we've collected another another relic, so we get another flashback from Dad. So not really a flashback, more like he's trying to communicate with us. Not a flashback, he's really trying to communicate with us. So let's just say we get a connection, and we also get a new power, and it's the dash. And I like that the game shows this demonstration of how to use the power. I thought that that was really cool. Instead of just like putting commands, I like that they put the command and like showed you how to actually do it. I thought that that was kind of cool. So yeah, by using the dash, we're making it through this underground cave, and that's pretty much the end of this underground cave, and we're heading to a different portion of the game, and we've made it onto the snowy area and the icy area, and pretty much, yep, that's it.